Speaking of affordability, Ontario is hiking a real estate speculation tax as part of its effort to tackle the housing crisis. Now, the tax is aimed at deterring non-resident investors from speculating on the housing market. The tax rate is rising from 15% to 20% today. It applies to homes purchased by foreign nationals, foreign corporations, and taxable trustees. The tax is also being expanded from the Greater Golden Horseshoe to all of Ontario. The government says loopholes associated with it are also being closed. So let's get a closer look at what's taking shape in the real estate market right now. Lauren Haw is the CEO of Zoocasa, joining us again this morning on Breakfast. Lauren, thanks so much for this. The timing of this is interesting. An election coming up in a couple of months from now. And what is the actual impact of just a further tax on foreign buyers really going to have on the market in your estimation?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it will have much of an impact. We quite frankly don't know the impact of the first time this speculation tax came out. We saw a drop in prices in the York region area right after the original sales speculation tax came to be, and then things recovered, and it didn't affect the rest of the GTA. I don't see this having a big impact across the rest of Ontario or this loophole that is being pointed to. I think we just need more supply.
Right. Of course, we know supply doesn't happen overnight, but this is going to be something we're going to hear, certainly the progressive conservatives say in the run-up to the election. You know, they're doing something to tackle housing affordability. Your sort of suggestion is that perhaps the way they're going about this isn't quite working. What can they do to boost the supply more than that's already being done? Because really, is it coming down to bureaucracy and red tape? Is it coming down to, zoning restrictions? What else could happen? How else could they make it better, really?
Well, that's a big question. Admittedly, I think that nobody really knows, and I think that's part of the challenge in making these policies is homes, as you said, can't be built overnight. But I do think from a development standpoint, we've got a lot of available space in the GTHA and in Southern Ontario to build more of those low-rise homes that are so high in demand, and in allowing those to happen and kind of getting development red tape out of the way would help.
Lauren, of course, so we get the provincial budget coming up at the end of next month, but next week we have the federal budget coming down. Are you expecting to hear much out of federal Liberals in terms of how they plan on tackling housing affordability?
I think there's been some musings on policies, but I haven't seen anything concrete. And unfortunately, I think it's also a bit out of their jurisdiction unless it comes to mortgage rate changes. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, some of the mortgage rate changes that we've seen in recent years that are geared towards making it easier and better for first-time home buyers have had a bit of the opposite effect and kind of playing a bit of favoritism towards those that already have some equity and are able to take advantage.
Right. Okay. Lauren Haw, always great to talk to you about the housing market. Thanks for joining us. She is the CEO of Zoocasa. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.